Creating height variation in Substance Designer is actually quite easy, but when we want this to be a little more complex for better detail, it turns a little bit tedious, especially when it comes to control. When trying to create some height variation, what we usually try to do is create a FloodFill to Random Grayscale. Now this FloodFill to Random Grayscale is going to be duplicated, and one is going to be for the actual height variation here, that is going to be multiplied, and the second one is going to be used as a mask. So the second one will have a histogram scan with a contrast on 1 and a position on the number you want. I'm going to do 0.5, it's just 50% of my material, and set this to my opacity. Now, if I want to control the intensity of this, the only thing I need to do is play around with the multiply opacity node. Now, if I change the random shape, this is going to change, and you're going to see that some tiles are going to be stronger. Now, the problem is what happens when we want to add more detail to this. Let's say we want to go for a FloodFill to gradient. Set this angle variation to random, set this here, and apply this here. Now here comes two things. We use exactly the same mask, we're going to be affecting the same tiles, and it's hard to control the intensity if we have two opacity sliders for this. And if we were to make this more specific, we have to duplicate this area here, do a new random seed, and use a different mask. Now this is going to affect new tiles, but it's also going to affect the ones that were before. But I have discovered an easy way of actually fixing this. The only thing we need to do is delete this and duplicate the first histogram scan we created. Now what we're gonna do is to this histogram scan, we are gonna subtract the previous mask. This way we make sure that the new tiles we get are not the same as the last ones. So now if I pull this up, you're gonna see that the only tiles remaining are the ones that we didn't select it before. That means that if I start to increase the amount of tiles selected for non-uniform random grayscale, what's gonna happen is it's gonna remove some of the gradient ones. Now if I pull all of these together, you're gonna see that now I had more variation with more control. If you learned something today and you want to see more learning content on Substance Designer on your feed, drop me a follow.